Alright, we are recording. Hopefully the heart rate monitor won't die on me. And it's actually been like 40 minutes since I finished the last one. I decided to have dinner. Well, not dinner, have lunch. I made the mistake earlier too. Yeah. Alright, let's just get back. But it's like, the thing stopped working, so I had to deal with that. Might as well take a long enough of a break to deal with that. Oh, so much stutter. The overlay is broken. Is it saying at 1 FPS? Better than that. It's not great, but it is better than good. That just makes where I gotta place it a little easier. There. I did. Yes, I did. I can't quite remember if I did in fact rinse that off or not. Alright, with that, I think I'm actually done with... I'm done with ceiling work. Or was there more over here? No, not really, because even that corner isn't that bad. Okay. Put a little bit in, still going, still going. What is... Crates. Alright, so there's always some in there too. Oh, yes, I do have right here. I was forgetting about it. Hey, I just looked up and noticed that the frame rate counter of the Steam overlay is working again. Whoop. No sense. Actually, I'm trying to remember the order of certain things. I know it would have been since the previous series for this Acclaim detail I started doing. Well, I did the first Let's Play Plus on all. Something I've talked about before is that one nice thing about these videos is they give me a reason to replay certain good games. Or play for the first time certain games. So like, I talked about Wolfenstein The New Order. Was it the previous, or was it 2 ago? I don't remember now. But in any case, played that because I enjoyed it, and hey, I could have an excuse to play it again. Let's Play Plus is a series I thought of where I basically do the same thing, but not with the heart rate monitor. No heart rate monitor, no gaze tracker. But I did the first one of those that I meant to do, and then another that's like, well, this works out, I'll do it. Son of a bitch. The Metro Exodus videos that I released that weren't without the heart rate monitor in there, because I replayed the base game using its new game plus. I option, that was a Let's Play Plus, but the first one I did was Tomb Raider, 2013 Tomb Raider. Still need to do Rise of the Tomb Raider at this point, end of February. I do want to. I like giving myself reason to replay games that I've played before and enjoyed. For those, it's also, these are games I've reviewed that I didn't go to review playthroughs for one reason or another. And it was starting with the Tomb Raider series, but then it's like, oh, Metro Exodus, I have reason to do this with the new DLC. Yeah, I guess I'll just do that then. Put that out as one. Oh man, it was so funny. The other day I saw IGN executive editor of reviews had tweeted something, and I saw it because I follow somebody else. Which that makes it sound like I'm more involved with social media than I actually am. But I follow somebody else who liked it, like the thing, because this editor was quoting a comment from somebody who was basically complaining that how could a reviewer not talk about how this one game, it's Jedi Fallen Order, that for them was like there was a game-breaking freeze bug in it. It's like, how could you not talk about this? How could you say it was a good game? How? It's like, because apparently you don't understand how reviews work. Because if you don't experience it in a review, you shouldn't talk about it. And also the suggestion that reviewers would hide bugs. It's like, no. And that's one reason that I like doing the capturing and sharing the review playthroughs, is that any bug I encounter, you can see. You can also hear me comment on it. But the thing is, something very nice for me, is that I also have experience doing game testing. So I have an idea of the context of the seriousness of bugs. Like there's one I saw yesterday, actually pretty serious. Not game breaking, but serious, but it's one of those, so long as it doesn't get discovered by the community, we have time to fix this. It's not game breaking though, it's not game breaking. It existing is not a huge problem. It's just it's rife for X kind of thing. I'm gonna start running this over. But had no idea about this bug until that day. But yeah, when you're reviewing though, it's not even, you don't have to mention any bug. Depending on the character of the bug, I will mention it. But it's also depending on the character of the bug, I won't. Now, that kind of bug, that I'm not going to say what it was, just leave it at very exploitable. If I found that in a review, when reviewing a game, and it was pre-release especially, because I do get some games before they're available to the public, if I found something like that, I would never mention it in the review, because that is an exploit. It's like, I do not want to assist in exploiting, I do not want to assist exploits in a game. And I would probably also try to contact and be like, hey, are you aware of this? But something like that, no. Now, a game-breaking bug that's like, okay, progression no longer works, that I would talk about. And I'm trying to remember, I want to say there was one game we actually did encounter that. I know I ran into issues when I was reviewing Splinter Cell Blacklist that I basically pegged on, put those down to being driver related. And it was progression blocking. I couldn't advance because of it. And I think I mentioned it in the review, but only as far as this is why I didn't go further in the game. You know, it's not meant to say that there's a significant problem with the game, because as I just said now, I felt that was more a driver issue than like an actual bug, but it was still just This executive editor or reviews, it's like, oh, one way to fix that is share the review playthroughs. Because then it's all there. Everything is there. No one can say you're hiding anything. They could try to be upset with you if it's like, well, why didn't you write about this in the review? It's like, well, I may have forgotten about it. That happens a lot with with bugs, I find, when reviewing. I forget. Okay. Aw. I will admit, I did completely forget to consider that I wouldn't be able to step out of the elevator. Damn, that did not last. And remember, this is all footprints. Maybe I should try asking that question somewhere. Probably could be finding out the best place to ask it, or best way to ask it. Just, do people think that bugs need to be mentioned in reviews? And I guess couch that with the question of, is it a review's responsibility that to describe all bugs they may encounter? Or is it just those that, by their judgment, are serious? Because, serious bugs, it's like, that's one thing. But if it's just something silly, that couldn't be exploited, isn't going to ruin somebody's experience, then does it have to be mentioned? I am kind of curious what people would say. But also at the same time, I don't want to know. And there's one very good reason. That's not the kind of thing you should actually have a vote on. That's the kind of thing that, no, you leave that to the professionals. And I know there's a lot of people that be like, you can't possibly mean that. It's like, no, I do. Because, like that executive editor, for example, he would be making that kind of decision for his outlet. And if he feels that, no, this is something that I'm not going to ask my people to focus on, then that's it. That's the decision. Deal with it. The reviews I do are basically my own work. So it's my decision. And it's like, knowing what people think may encourage you to change your opinion, but you can't review by committee, I guess is a way to put it. Because, if a review by its nature is an opinion, you can't force somebody to change their opinion when what they're supposed to be doing is providing that opinion. Now, I also am thinking, because the situation also changes, because what if you do have early access to the game? Pre-release access. So you know there could be bugs in it. Do you still mention that. And actually, that does remind me, there is one game that I played, that I reviewed, that I did in fact discover a bug. I didn't even notice it at first. It wasn't until I put in quite some time into the game that I realized that there was this bug. And it is a bug that I will never publicly divulge. For one thing, it was fixed. It was ultimately fixed. I don't know when, but it did get fixed. And I would not want that to public, because it's fixed, the issue's done. But it was a bug that even without talking to anyone, I knew would be fixed. It's like, no, this would be known internally. Somebody would have spotted this, but it's not critical enough to not let reviewers get to work. And something like that, no, I would not mention it, because like I trust that this will be fixed, so I'm not gonna spoil a review, an otherwise positive review. And I did enjoy the game, so it did get a positive review. To say that, oh, there was this issue that I don't even believe that any of you will experience, because I don't think it will be live. I think it will be fixed in time. It's like, no, that's a waste of everybody's time. And it's also a waste of my knowledge and experience having done game testing. Not for that game, for other games. Yeah, don't worry, I will never review a game that I have worked on. No one should ever review a game they worked on. Not without very much being open about that. I think the people could provide their opinion of it, but it shouldn't be formalized in a review. Damn. But it's also another reason why you cannot review a game you've worked on is because you have seen it through too many changes, most likely. It's like, I know that's the case. The games I've worked on, I've seen so many changes to them that I could give a review of the game at various states. I could also give a review where it's like, oh, well, I don't like this. I liked how it was before, but you're never seeing that because it got changed. I'm just trying to think what might be a viable analogy using this game. I think what would be a change that could have been made that I wouldn't like the change. Okay, how about that? What if there were something like there had been a meter on the mop to let you know how filthy it was? But that got removed in favor of this system, so that where you just see, you have to interpret the filth on it. To my knowledge, the game has never been public with it being anything but this system of you see the filth on it. Okay, but let's say that at one point during testing, before they had that system all set up, it was, no, we have a meter there so that you would know. It's like I could, if I were writing a review, then I could say like, oh, I much prefer that. It's like, but that's not fair, because the decision was made for it to not be that. I need to review it as it is. So, but I could still express an opinion as just somebody saying that I liked how the system was before, but even that would be dangerous because you shouldn't talk about how a game was prior to how was its public review? Because the whole, yes, decisions were made, but they were made by people that are supposed to make those decisions. Sometimes they're bad decisions. My role in QA, I view it as, in part, trying to protect people from making decisions, or at least making bad decisions, or identifying issues with decisions they have made, but always with the goal of trying to make it better. In some cases, that is a I don't like it this way. In other cases, it's a no, it is actually broken this way. I mean, now the audio for myself, it was quite loud. But it still is a, that's how I view it. It is providing the information, but you can't take that stuff public. It'll only make the situation worse. Because you don't know why things would have changed. What decisions were involved. Fortunately, those are all packed in there so nicely I don't have to worry about them dipping. Oh my god, that is and there's still so much to do. Like, not even just up here, there's more downstairs. Oh, this is gonna take me so long. One thing I also just remembered that happened to me/for me. It was a game I played on the Wii. Very good game, very much enjoyed it, called The Conduit. And I discovered a trick in it. And it's not an exploit, this was intentionally placed there, a button, because enemies could spawn in via a portal. And there's actually, in this one room, they do that, there's actually a way, a button you could get to that would close the portal. And I saw a review at one point, sorry, not a review, a walkthrough, it didn't mention it. And I figured it's just the person that wrote it didn't realize it. And it actually did get added to the walkthrough. Man, it really was a good game. Never played the sequel, but some things that I've heard about it wasn't as good as the first. It happens. But it was a first-person shooter that put so much power in the player's hands as far as controls. You can control so much, the dead zone for it, and such. I mean, it's actually also kind of funny because at one point when I was showing it to a friend, she looked up a review for it. And the person was complaining about certain things that you couldn't do in it. That was like, how you can... It included criticism of, like, oh, you can't make this change or something. You can't configure the controls this way. And it's like, I pulled out the manual, and it's like, it says right there that you can, and this is how you do it. That is always one thing that, to me, I don't worry about it that much. What does kind of scare me about some reviews is the idea that any criticism you have is actually wrong, was like, no, your opinion is wrong because you didn't read how to do it. I guess, in this game it would be like, for the specific level, not knowing that you have to burn the things with the arc weld. Which I will grant, unless you read that note that I found that mentioned the whole, having to call in a burn team, that you might not think of it. And there are other things like that too, where it's like, it would be nice if it actually was explained. But yeah, it's kind of an is what it is situation in this game. But yeah, I mean, it's like that has to be scary for some people, especially those that are the more popular. Because generally, if you're popular, it's either because you found a niche, or it's because you're actually good. So you've earned people's respect. So if you screw up, that has to be scary. Because you don't want to lose that respect. Because especially for a review, that is what people are coming to you for. Why people come? Because they trust your opinion as something that can inform them for their decision. Sorry. You know what? Ah. I'm just gonna start setting them here, let that burn through and get some more going. My guess is I'm gonna need to fill that elevator up at least one more time in order to get everything cleaned up there. And then there's just more down here. I hit the wrong button. I'm so close. Sorry, I just looked down. Well, about 10 minutes left. I'm gonna finish off the elevator. I'm guessing the batteries have died. I'm gonna kill this. And I did even think about, when I was coming up from lunch, just grabbing some more batteries. But it's so annoying because it's also, these batteries literally only lasted like a month or two without being used. There. One other thing I wanted to do. I have the time. I don't mind this being a short one to deal with that, but it's like, this is... Yes, screw it. so I want. And once I do that, I'll stop. Get fresh batteries and get going again. Yeah, it lasts about the same amount of time as the previous. Damn it. And it's also, I mean, I could just encode these without the heart rate monitor, but I don't, that's going to take more effort than I think it's worth. Ah, son of a bitch. There, not that. I'm just getting that set up. Alright. See you next time.